so Meta AI, the idea of having, just an AI assistant that can help you with different tasks, and in our world is going to be, very creatively oriented, like you're saying, but I mean, they're very general. So I mean, you don't need to just constrain it to that. It'll be able to answer any question. Over time, I think, when we move from like the Llama 3 class of models to Llama 4 and beyond, it's gonna, I think, feel less like a chatbot, where it's like you give it a prompt and it just responds, and then you give it a prompt and it responds, and it's just like back and forth. I think it's gonna pretty quickly evolve to, you give it an intent, and it actually can go away on multiple time frames. And I mean, it probably should acknowledge that you gave it an intent up front. But I mean, some of the stuff I think will end up, it'll spin up, compute jobs that take, weeks or months or something, and then just come back to you when like something happens in the world. And I think that that's going to be really powerful. So I mean,
today's AI, as you know, is kind of turn-based. You say something, it says something back to you. But obviously, when we're given a mission or we're giving a problem, we'll contemplate multiple options, or maybe we come up with a tree of options, a decision tree, and we walk down the decision tree, simulating in our mind, what are the different outcomes of each decision that we could potentially make. And so we're doing planning. And so in the future, AIs will kind of do the same. One of the things that I was super excited about when you talked about your vision of creator AI, I just think that's a home run idea, frankly. Tell everybody about the creator AI and AI studio that's going to enable you to do that.
Yeah, so we actually, I mean, this is something that we've talked about it a bit, but we're rolling it out a lot wider today. A lot of our vision is that I don't think that there's just going to be like one AI model, right? I mean, this is something that some of the other companies in the industry, they're like, it's like they're building like one central agent, and yeah, we'll have the Meta AI assistant that you can use, but a lot of our vision is that we want to empower all the people who use our products to basically create agents for themselves. So whether that's, all the many, many millions of creators that are on the platform, or, hundreds of millions of small businesses, we eventually want to just be able to pull in all your content and very quickly stand up a business agent and be able to interact with your customers and do sales and customer support and all that. So the one that we're just starting to roll out more now is we call it AI Studio, and it basically is a set of tools that eventually is going to make it so that every creator can build sort of an AI version of themselves as sort of an agent or an assistant that their community can interact with. There's kind of a fundamental issue here where there's just not enough hours in the day, right? It's like if you're a creator, you want to engage more with your community, but you're constrained on time. And similarly, your community wants to engage with you, but it's tough. I mean, there's limited time to do that. So the next best thing is allowing people to basically create these artifacts, right? It's an agent, but you train it to kind of on your material to represent you in the way that you want. I think it's a very kind of creative endeavor, almost like a piece of art or content that you're putting out there. And it's going to be very clear that it's not engaging with the creator themselves, but I think it'll be another interesting way, just like how creators put out content on these social systems, to be able to have agents that do that. Similarly, I think that there's going to be a thing where people basically create their own agents for all different kinds of uses. Some will be sort of customized utility, things that they're trying to get done that they want to kind of fine tune and train an agent for. Some of them will be entertainment, and some of the things that people create are just funny, and just kind of silly in different ways, or kind of have a funny attitude about things that we probably couldn't. We probably wouldn't build into Meta AI as an assistant, but I think people are kind of pretty interested to see and interact with. And then one of the interesting use cases that we're seeing is people kind of using these agents for support. This was one thing that was a little bit surprising to me. Is one of the top use cases for Meta AI already is people basically using it to role play difficult social situations that they're going to be in. So whether it's a professional situation, it's like, all right, I want to ask my manager, like, how do I get a promotion or a raise, or I'm having this fight with my friend, or I'm having this difficult situation with my girlfriend, like how can this conversation go? And basically having a completely judgment-free zone where you can basically role play that and see how the conversation will go and get feedback on it. But a lot of people, they don't just want to interact with the same kind of agent, whether it's Meta AI or ChatGPT or whatever it is that everyone else is using. They want to kind of create their own thing. So that's roughly where we're going with AI Studio, but it's all part of this bigger, I guess, view that we have, that there shouldn't just be kind of one big AI that people interact with. We just think that the world will be better and more interesting if there's a diversity of these different